Hello everyone and welcome to episode 95 of the TEW 2020 New Japan Pro Wrestling series here on the channel. It is the Wrestle Dynasty tour, as we'll be going to America for this tour, the entire tour actually. I know in the past, actually every tour we've done of Wrestle Dynasty, we've kind of split it in half, where we run like first week of the tour, we have it be in Japan and then we go to the US. I think this, what we're going to do, the schedule's going to be a little bit different for this kind of September, October, and, as far as basically these 2 months are kind of be our, like, international tours, well, quote unquote, as far as, we're going to have Wrestle Dynasty be in the US, and then I want to have the Autumn Attack, just because we haven't ran Australia. I think it'd be pretty fun to run Australia just to kind of see what would happen. I know they got a lot of big stadiums down there too, so as far as that'd be pretty fun to do. And plus, we have a couple of Aussies and New Zealanders, so I think it'd be a cool idea. So that's the plan, and then obviously the Royal Quest shows will be in London, and mainly all over England. But so to think that really these next couple of tours they're not going to be in Japan for the most part, and that's going to be pretty big deal, as far as obviously we don't want to completely alienate our Japanese, fan base, because that's our bread and butter. But for the most part, you're going to see a lot of tours that are not really going to feature, like, they're going to be either we're going to run some strong tapings in Cork and Hall, or, we're going to run, I think the Autumn Attack tour, I don't think we're going to run the entire tour down there in Australia. I think we're going to run it, the majority of it, in Japan, and then probably run like the last 2 or 3 tour shows in Australia, and of course the final show. So that's kind of the plan. As far as I know, it's kind of you thinking ahead a little bit, but figured we have to talk about it as just to kind of outline what's going on. Kind of crazy. We're almost at $500 million. So much money. I don't know what the hell we're gonna do with it all, but we made $36 million last month. Pretty crazy. That's a shit ton of money. As before we get into the actual episode, as far as the booking and the how the final show's gonna look like, because I know we kind of talked about it at the end of the previous episode, anyways. I would be remiss if I didn't start this off with a rest in peace to the Funker, Terry Funk, the goddamn goat. Brutal. As far as someone that just seemed to be immortal. He's gonna live forever. And Terry is he is without a doubt the guy that I think just is the embodiment of professional wrestling. When you really think about it, and just when when the news dropped, that's why this is coming out on Thursday, because just I was about to record when I got the news. I was just not really feeling like wanting to talk, and just kind of even wanted to just mainly just watch Terry's kind of go through some of the highlights, and it's just awesome to I kind of jumped around throughout each different decade and just watched shit from his, and didn't really have a plan, and just watching stuff from the 2000s. Watched the second, obviously One Night Stand, that 6-man tag. That was pretty crazy. And there was a Lawler singles match that he had that was kind of the rematch from the Memphis stuff in '81. Would watch that, and then you jump into the Flair stuff, and then you jump to obviously Japan, and you see the 70s Japan stuff, with him and Dory. And you jump to the 90s, and watch ECW stuff, and then try to go back into the 70s again, watch his NWA title matches. Just there's so much shit that man did that it's always been unbelievable to me, because he did like everything. The motherfucker is a part of probably the greatest death match ever with him and Onita, and and also what he did with Foley, and just the deathmatch stuff he did, and kind of carrying the legacy that his father really built, and what Amarillo, as far as that territory, what they were doing with the Texas Death Matches and doing barbed wire matches, and they were kind of Memphis did a lot for hardcore stuff, but really I would say Amarillo's kind of the first, or at least in the U.S. That's obviously where Onita goes on excursion, sees all this crazy shit going on, and starts FMW, and we get basically then FMW, that influence. Heyman season, it's like that's pretty cool. Let's do some of that, and obviously even bringing it back to ECW with Terry Funk helping out ECW, as far as being, winning in the main event of their first pay-per-view, and being a really big part of that. Just crazy, as far as you can't mention, you can't even talk about the 70s, can't talk about the 80s, you can't even talk about the 60s when you talk about his family with, obviously Dory and Dory Jr. and him. Obviously they debuted 66, 65, I want to say. But, his dad, obviously Dory Sr., legendary promoter and a hell of a talent as well, obviously. And really, to think that just those three individuals, that family, what they did. Obviously Dory, Dory Jr. was, probably the best, I'll just say one of the best technical wrestlers of the 70s. Obviously the NWA title reigns, massive. And to have Terry get a title reign, mainly because Dory couldn't go to a show, that was just kind of crazy to think about. And he has just a great reign, and he can have, great matches with like Harley, and then you have guys that he could work with. That was just crazy. Like, he could have any style, but mainly, obviously I would say more physical, hard-hitting stuff was kind of his bread and butter, just a wrestler's wrestler type of thing. But to think that he could be a tag team specialist guy, too, obviously him and his brother, phenomenal stuff in the 70s, with, as far as obviously in Japan, having these crazy matches, and having these great, tag matches. The Baba Suruta match is pretty awesome. I love his match. The match with Hansen in the early 80s in All Japan was awesome. And his match with Jumbo in the mid 70s in All Japan rules. The tag match with, it's him and Dory against Hansen and Brody. That's a pretty crazy one as far as, and also the them and the Bulldogs had some great stuff. And as far as just and also Hansen and Gordy, even kind of would almost just barely missed out on them, but they would have had some great matches with those guys too, obviously. But obviously they kind of stopped touring Japan by the time Hansen and Gordy were teaming. And then obviously Doc and Gordy, boy, that'd be crazy as well. Just the GOAT, the absolute GOAT. He did it all, and also was somebody that was in Japan in the 70s, and was telling anyone that would listen that these Japanese women, they might be 120, 130 pounds, but they are fucking awesome, and they are gonna light up the world, and they're gonna be the next big thing. And even working in Amarillo, obviously he would work all in Houston, and he'd work El Paso, and he worked with a lot of lucha guys in the 70s, and it was just like, well, listen, these fucking luchadors, they come over here, that fast-paced style, a lot, I guess you could say the stick and fly, maybe, is how you could probably maybe talk about as far as lucha, as far as the Americanized version of lucha, but just, flop or fly, maybe, potentially, but just that style, obviously, that really, the luchadors with when ECW again, just to kind of talk about that with Conan bringing those guys in, and bringing on Rey Mysterio Jr. and Juventud and Psicosis, and then, WCW and the whole goddamn thing. Like, the whole kind of landscape of American wrestling, Terry Funk saw it coming 20 years before. And that's just, kind of the way it goes. It's crazy. Just absolutely crazy. So many legendary promos as well. What more can you say? Was a class act as a veteran too. Would put over anybody. From him to be in the wrestling business for as long as obviously Terry was in, it's almost, it would be, you'd get stoned to death, so if you said a bad word about him, and just nobody had a problem with Terry, as far as working with him, or, as far as in Japan, in the States, when he was NWA champion, or when he was a veteran in the 90s and 2000s, didn't matter. And that just shows you what type of guy the Funker was, and he will definitely live on forever with just the amount of great shit he did. Just sucks that he's gone, though. And, obviously, when heard the news, immediately thought of Dory, just because, as far as being the older brother, Terry was involved in his life for fucking a long, long time. And that would definitely suck to wake up one day and your brother's not there. Mick, thought of Mick for sure. Thought of Dreamer, thought of a lot of the close people that love Terry, and that just sucks. Heart goes out to him. Heart goes out to his daughters for sure. I know his wife, unfortunately, passed a couple of years back, so just brutal. But to try to get us back on track here for this episode, if we had to talk about the Funker, that was Terry Funk. He's a goddamn legend. But for the Wrestle Dynasty final show here, we have a pretty jam-packed show. As the main event, Tyler Black versus Zack Sabre Jr. for the United States title. Love that match. We had that in the G1, and it went really well. So we're going to see the rematch here for the U.S. title. Of course, Zack and Walter now the new tag team champions. So they're double champions going into the main and co-main Intercontinental title matchup with Jon Moxley and Walter. I love that match again. That's a match. Both guys stylistically match up very, very well. I don't know what would be the better match to see, in real life, because both of those matches rule. I would really, if I had to pick one, gun to the head, I would probably go Moxley and Walter. I just love that hard-hitting style, and I think they could have a lot of awesome shit in that match. The never-openweight title matchup, Juice Robinson and Shinsuke Nakamura. So this is going to be a fun little program between these two. We kind of saw a little bit of it in the previous episode, and now we get to see as far as the title match here, but also the very next show here. That's the Strong taping that's happening tomorrow in the game. It's going to be Nakamura and Cena for the New Japan Strong Openweight title, and Juice is going to cost Nakamura that title, and hence a little bit more added flavor to this title match, and also makes for the trilogy between Tanahashi and Cena for a title, as Cena will be the new champion looking to defend his title successfully against Hiroshi Tanahashi. Love it though, they're 1-1 against each other, and they both beating each other in their kind of area, as far as Tanahashi beating Cena in America at the New Beginning in the USA show, and then obviously Cena winning at Dominion here recently. Pretty cool how that worked out, and now we get to see the trilogy that's going to happen in the US, though. Is Cena going to win it and retain? Is Tanahashi going to beat him again in the US and become New Japan Strong Openweight title champion, again? We're going to see. That's going to be a fun, even though it's not going to be a good match, quote-unquote, hopefully. The first match was an 80, and the last one didn't really go over so well, but Cena doesn't really do a whole lot better in Japan compared to the US. Plus, as far as his ratings have definitely declined since February to September, so that might happen too, but I think it's a fun kind of conclusion here for those two legends for sure. As the never-openweight six-man tag team title matchup, Suzuki Gun against Blast Off as Ashino, Claudio, and Hook are going to be the trio team. Take on Blast off there. Obviously, Konosuke Takeshita, as far as winner of the King of Pro Wrestling. So he's got bigger fish to fry potentially there, but also still a long ways away. Wrestle Kingdom, sure, it might be only a couple of months, but you still got so many tours to go through. We got obviously, we talked about already with Autumn Attack and with Royal Quest, but also, of course, Power Struggle and the Wrestle Grand Slams, and then the Tag League, too. I mean, it's a lot to go through. And it's Hana Kimura's Open Challenge. Obviously, I want to keep that a surprise until the finals, so as far as not going to talk a whole lot about that, but I think it's going to go over pretty well. I actually have a couple of ideas on who I want it to be, which is kind of funny that I haven't nailed it down to the one person yet. It kind of just depends on how contracts are lined up. As far as I have the main plan, and then I have a kind of contingency plan, and I even have a plan that's, if those two, don't really work out to my fancy, I might go with, as far as plan C. It's a lot of different changes, as far as ideas-wise with that. But I'm excited to see how that's going to play out. This Hana Kimura, though, has been a great first champion. Might be a new champion here. We'll see. As Junior Heavyweight Tag Team title matchup, 2v2v2, first fall to a finish. If I could, this would be a ladder match. It's Top Flight versus Velocities versus Koji Kamai. You got some high-flying motherfuckers in that one. Dante Martin, Vikingo, Francesco Akira, obviously Jude London and Paris De Silva, Darius Martin, of course. Those 6 guys can go. That's kind of a throwback to obviously like the early 2000s WCW and WWF, as far as with the Young Dragons 3-count stuff, and then obviously Edge and Christian and the Hardys. I could just kind of that same kind of formula, that idea. I just always thought that was an exciting style, an exciting thing to kind of put together, and especially in the US too. So to be able to do that should be fun. But a one fall to the finish is going to be nice too. It adds a little bit more urgency to it instead of elimination. Then the opener, which might be the best thing on the whole goddamn show, the Lucha Brothers. Look at them come the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions after losing their Heavyweight Tag Team titles to Zack Sabre Jr. and Volter, looking to get some revenge, but also take the belts away from Jonathan Gresham and Daniel Makabe. So I love this idea. Lucha Brothers, instead of kind of maybe potentially going for a rematch or kind of working their way from the bottom, working their way back up to another title match, going right at the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions. I love that idea. I think it's a great opener. Obviously, we need a technical masterclass match to be in the opener, and that's a pretty solid one to go with. Those two teams have pretty good matches against each other too. Stylistically, they match up well. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what is going to happen there in that opener. That is for sure. So yeah, that's the card. We have everything pre-booked, ready to go, as far as with everything lined up with the tours and whatnot, so we'll hop right in. And of course, like I said, we're going to be in America for these next 2 weeks, so should be pretty exciting to see how it all plays out. This backstage incidents, Sakuya Miyagi, Spot for Wrestler's Court, accused of moaning about stuff, all bumming everyone else out about it, it's just being a Debbie Downer. Nakamura found them guilty and sentenced to shut up and cheer up by drinks after the show. Alrighty, and then Nagata. Oh, that has a small positive impact on Kuya Miyagi's Nagata's passing on psychology to the Great Okan. So yeah, as far as I'm not sure where I want to run the final show, that Wrestle Dynasty show, because we've kind of ran it in a bunch of different places. We've ran it at the Garden, MetLife, where the Cardinals play. Forgetting where that fucking stadium's called. I don't think we've ran... Maybe we have ran it in Florida, now I'm thinking about it. But yeah, there's just so many different places we can go with it. I think we're going to go on the West Coast first and kind of work our way around and just kind of see where we end up. I think we ran it one year in the mid... and as far as in either... I don't think it was the Cowboys Stadium, which that'd be awesome. I don't think that was it, though. Fuck it. Who knows? As Yeah, for the 3,000 seater, though, we'll just go with the Walter Pyramid. As for the main event, probably go with this Task Force Death United Empire matchup. It's a 6-man tag. It's 2 matches into 1. That's happening on that final show. Moxley with the Lucha Brothers against Walter, and then Makabe and Gresham. So John Moxley is going to beat Daniel Makabe there in 20 minutes, though. That's a good win for the challengers. Then we'll go with... That's a tough one, because both these matches are going to be pretty good here. I'm going to go with Claudio and Hook against Dynamic Duo Tandem, as Claudio is going to beat Endo in 20 minutes. That should go over pretty well, though. And then Kingdom of Strong Style, Peace, Love, and War, the 6-man, as Nakamura with Shelley and Kushida against Juice, Coughlin, and Barbaro Cavanero, as Kushida is going to beat Coughlin in 20 minutes there. We'll go, we'll go Koji Kamai and Flight Club, 6-man tag here, as it's going to be Yoshihashi with the Junior Tag Team Champions against Hayato Junior Fujita, and then obviously Top Flight, as Yoshihashi is going to beat Hayato Junior Fujita. I got Jay White, Drew Parker against Kenta Shota Umino. It's a tactical masterclass matchup, as Umino is going to beat Drew Parker. Sad that Drew Parker's retiring, though. I just, that's another bummer. You know, as far as, because obviously he would be, he's 25. He's younger than me. Crazy. Crazy. Because he is, he was super talented, and he was really rocking and rolling. I think, if I remember correctly, it's not an injury-related retirement. It's more of like a family retirement, as far as, which sucks that he's not able to kind of do wrestling and provide for his family, because he's a hell of a worker. And just, you know, as far as, it's a brutal schedule he works, though, flying back to Japan, and you know, the British Indies are just not what they used to be, so probably having to stay in Japan more often than not. And he's kind of getting booked in America, but even then, like, you know, the American Deathmatch Indies is just, you know, not paying as highly as it could and should. Just sucks. But Shota Umino getting the win in 20 minutes. A nice win. And then the opener will be Dark Order versus Chris Hart and Corey Ostlund. Of course, the LA Dojo Young Lions. So Reynolds is going to get the win because, well, he could use a win more than anything. Not that bad, you know, first tour show. We'll see how the opener does. Okay, 57, that's not bad. I figured they would do enough to make it work, and they did, as Reynolds with the Reynolds rap over Chris Hart. Hart did outperform, I figured so, but I didn't pick a loser, so that's what I get. That's Kenta Umino beating Jay White and Drew Parker. It's pretty close. But yeah, slightly better is the Kenta Umino team, which makes sense. Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good performance, though, for Shota Umino. 61. He's come a long way. He's starting to really show off his stuff. That's awesome to see. 72 for Koji Kamai and Flight Club as the guillotine choke from Yoshihashi over Hayato Junior Fujita. That's kind of ironic, since obviously he uses that same exact finish. But yeah, Yoshihashi and Hayato Junior Fujita, exact same ratings. Yoshihashi was really off his game, but yeah, just right team wins there. Got the crowd buzzing too, so that's awesome. As a 78 for Kingdom of Strong Styles, they beat the Peace, Love, and More 6-man team. Kushida tapping out Coughlin's Kushida lock. Yeah, Nakamura doing well. Shelley doing well in the US too. Same thing for Juice. Caminero doing well. Yeah, it's everybody doing pretty well there. That's a good little 6-man. And 77 for the co-main as Hook and Claudio beat Endo and Konosuke Takeshita, as Endo with losing to the Stretch Muffler. It's kind of crazy. Konosuke 81, and you know, as far as at this point, you know, obviously in this save, you know, because it started obviously during, you know, kind of what if COVID never happened type of thing. You know, he's never worked in America, so just as far as this is what, you know, as far as a fresh, never stepped foot in American soil, you know, Konosuke Takeshita before this point. He's already doing better than Hook and Claudio, who, you know, obviously Claudio now at that point had been on WWE television for over a decade, and Hook was, you know, as far as in this save, was getting booked in AEW, so just as far as kind of weird how that played out. 79 now for the 6-man of Task Force Death in United Empire, as Moxley pinning Makabe as a Death Rider. Yeah, Moxley's still hurt for, I think it's basically a week and a couple of days. So that sucks that his injury hurt the match, but it was a good performance though from everybody. But Moxley, if obviously he wasn't injured, this would have been maybe even an A show. I doubt it, or an A show, like an 85 plus show. I mean, probably around an 83. Who knows though? That main event still was the best thing on the card, even with the injury. So that was nice. It was a good little show. We'll take it. We'll take it as the first day in the books. On to day 2 we go. Alrighty, day 2. As far as the backstage incident, oh wow, a lot of them. Mostly, I'm assuming they're all. Yeah, as far as psychology tips passing on from Shingo Takagi to Masahiro Hara, Naito passing on psychology to Kuya Miyagi, Yuji Nagata passing on psychology to the Great Okan. Imagine they're all psychology. No, as far as Kojima's passing on microphone work to Tamura, and then Nakamura passing on psychology to Nario Takagawa. And yeah, I mean it is awesome to see all those young lions getting some help along the way for this main event here for day 2. You know, as far as that's a good question. We have a Suzuki-gun Blast-Off 8-man tag. I don't think that should be the main, though. I mean, you can't go wrong with Tanahashi and Cena in the main. Just from a star power perspective, it's a steal the show matchup, though. So I don't think we'll have this be the actual main event. But Fujinami is going to get the win there in 10 minutes as Tanahashi and Fujinami against Black Taurus and Cena. What a dream team there for Black Taurus and Cena. Only here you see that teaming. Fortunately, Black Taurus is going to have to lose, though, because I don't want to have Cena take the fall. We are actually going to change. So, you know, obviously, I talked about there was going to be the New Japan Strong Openweight title matchup. That was going to happen on the previous night on New Japan Strong. And honestly, I thought about it, and I think it's going to be better to have it be on one of these tour shows. I think we're going to have it be, looks like it's not going to be day 3, or yeah, it looks like it's going to be day 3 rather, yeah. So it's going to be the next show here coming up. A lot of singles matches on that card anyways coming up. But yeah, Tyler Black, Malachi Black, Zack Sabre Jr., Josh Alexander, that's a pretty solid main. If we're going to go this direction, as Alexander's going to beat Malachi Black. Yeah, I think we'll just stick with that as the main. This Suzuki-gun Blast-Off 8-man as Fuminori Abe will be beating Fred Yehai. So nice little 8-man, though. Obviously, it's just the 6-man, but yeah, obviously they added the 6-man, never avoid 6-man title matchup. Then we'll have, I'm assuming, El Kukui Rob Eagles against Gulak and Gab McGavin's a technical masterclass matchup. It is, in fact, that, as Drew Gulak will be beating, we'll have him beat El Kukui. That's going to be a pretty good matchup, though. That should go over pretty well. I feel like El Kukui, as the 2 there, he's probably got the weaker, well, maybe not, though. That's pretty good technical skills. Because Eagles is pretty good technically, too. Yeah, they both are. Yeah, that'll work out. So then, just as far as established talent versus young lions, we'll have Jason Lee, Jonathan Peck. It's the first of the 2 matches. Book, and then Flyer and Tsuneo Takudome will be the opener. So, of course, Flyer's going to get the win there. Let's see where we're going to run this. So, we ran the previous Strong taping, in Oregon. So, we probably won't go back to the Northwest. I guess we can. It's not that big of a deal. We ran the Viking Pavilion, which is a little too big now that we just ran there. It'll be around 2,300. Yeah, let's just run this Temple Grand Ballroom. That works for me. Because it's not that big of a, crazy show. Alright. Let's run it. See what we get here for this Day 3 tour show. Well, 60, that's not bad for the opener. This Flyer gets the win to 450. So yeah, did pretty well as Tsuneo Takudome, though. That's not bad for a young lion, almost in the 40s. 54 here from Jason Lee and Jonathan Peck as Jason Lee with the Hong Kong Tornado. Yeah, this should have been the opener, but that's alright. Not that big of a deal. Technical Masterclass matchup here. That gets a 70 as the House of Black team losing to the United Empire here as Gulak with the Gulak in 1829. As Gulak and McGavin, better team there, but it's relatively close. Gulak, the best guy in the match, not bad at all. 73 for the 8-man, as Suzuki-gun losing to Blast-Off, as Abe with the figure 4 leg lock in 20 minutes. Yashino, Ibushi, Takeshita, Claudio, Abe, all those guys killing it there. It's a good match. Good match for sure. It's a 76 for the co-main event, as Tanahashi and Fujinami beating Cena and Black Taurus, as Fujinami with the armbar, the Fuji Nami armbar there over Black Taurus. That's not bad, it's funny that obviously Fujinami's the worst guy in the match, mainly because he's not really over in America, but that was a fun little matchup. Black Taurus, best guy in the match, which is pretty awesome. And it's just funny how that played out. And then 80 for the main event. I'm glad we went with this as the main, as Tyler Black, Malachi Black, losing to United Empire. So it's funny that United Empire with a clean sweep over House of Black on this show. But yeah, Tyler Black, Zack Sabre Jr. doing really well there. Malachi Black, again, just stinking up the joint. Pains me. Absolutely pains me. Got the crowd out too, that main event. Yeah, not bad. It kind of worked well as far as gradually getting better and better. Except for the opener and the second match on the card. And we'll take it. We will take that show. That is not bad at all. And on to day 3 we go. Alrighty, so as far as for this show, of course, we got the title match, which will be the main event. And, we also have some backstage incidents as Tanahashi is passing on psychology to Showboat, Takebo, and then Pac. I must put over fucking Airbender. Hell yeah. First of all, I don't know why we have not done that match, because that match would absolutely rule between those two. Yeah, Faigingo and Pac, sign me up. I'm there. I am fucking there. Alright. So for the, obviously the title matchup, Cena, Nakamura, Juice interferes, costing Nakamura the match. Yeah, just pretty straightforward stuff. This is just mainly to give, obviously, Nakamura, getting both, not being double champion anymore, but also, building up to his title matchup with Juice Robinson. So a little 2 birds, with 1 stone type of deal there. Then, co-main event, Peace, Love, and War, Kingdom of Strong style. Nice little 6-man here. Just realized we have Nakamura booked twice. As, we gotta change that. I think we're just gonna make a regular old tag, is what we're gonna do there. So, let's just do that through this. Yeah, we'll go Juice. With Juice and Coughlin. Against, Shelly and Kushida. Perfect. Little time splitters. Peace, Love, and War. As we'll have Juice beat Shelly. Actually, let's have him beat Kushida. Works for me. Alrighty. I just actually want to double check, because I think... Okay, never mind. I thought I added another match somewhere. Actually, was it? Nope, it wasn't Strong either. Fuck. It was somewhere. Somewhere I thought I added a match, but I guess I didn't. Naito Narumo against Dragon's Den of Tomorrow and Kyle O'Reilly. First of all, this is a fun match. I've done this once before. It was at the Tag League. Yeah, it was 2 years ago, the Tag League. Back then was Hiromu and Naito won. Mainly this is building up to a Tamura Naito matchup, as that's going to be happening at the Autumn Attack Tour. It will not be on the final show. I do know that much because they don't have good chemistry against each other, but Tamura is going to beat Naito there. And now we got the, as far as, since we're doing, Top Flight versus the Velocities versus, obviously, Francesco Akira and Airbender, it felt like we should have some fun singles matches on the tour. So we're going to split, the 2 teams up against each other, and then also we're going to have Hayato Jr. Fujita against Taichi to open up the show. So Dante and Paris de Silva is probably going to be, We'll have that be the top one of the three, as Dante's going to get the win over Paris de Silva. Jude London versus Darius Martin, which obviously Jude London will be winning that one. And then Tai Chi and Hayato Jr. Fujita as Tai Chi getting the win in that one. Yeah, that was a tough one to really decide because I think Hayato Jr. Fujita is going to outperform him. If I had to guess. Yeah, actually, yeah, let's do that. Let's have him win. I think that's for the best. It's weird because Tai Chi obviously is just in the G1, and yeah, he's the bigger star, but he's just not the level he used to be, unfortunately for him. Oh, actually, pretty good show, all things considered. So yeah, we just gotta pick the venue now. So, we, of course, are just in the Northwest. I think we, guess we could go maybe the Great Lakes, but I feel like the Midwest is probably better, around like Minnesota, or even one of the Dakotas. Yeah. So we got Davenport, Iowa, though. Silverstein. It's Independence, Missouri. That's funny, Dayton, Ohio's there. That's in the wrong spot. Yeah, there's Rochester, Minnesota. I got a feeling we're not going to be able to get a venue. As, yeah, it's looking like Iowa isn't the worst place to run. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to have to do. Alright. That's fine by me. The Alder Theater will be a sellout. Let's run it. See what we get. 60 for the opener. And yeah, Hayato Jr. Fujita was 1 point better. Gets the one to Helm. 1738. Oh, I'm glad it at least wasn't a complete shit show. 66 for the next matchup. Jude London beating Darius Martin. We gotta give Jude London his finishers. Damn, and then Dante Martin and Paris de Silva. They don't click, and then also Dante's off his game. So just a bit of a swing and a miss there for the Steal the Show matchup. Dante gets the one with the springboard cutter. In 11:47. Hell of a match here for Naito and Hiromu against Dragon's Den. So yeah, two teams with excellent chemistry. Having a banger. Hiromu with a 91. Dwarf an 84. O'Reilly with 74. Yeah, Naito, worst guy in the match. Hell of a match there. Hell of a win there for Tamura, beating Naito, getting at least some revenge there. Going into their title matchup for the next tour as Time Splitters against Juice Armstrong and Alex Coughlin. This probably should... Yeah, we probably should switch that. I don't know what I was thinking. Had that be at least the co-main. It's Juice pinning Kushida with the Pulp Friction. Juice, best guy in the match. 76, that's not bad at all. Yeah, it was a pretty good matchup, all things considered. In the main event, 78 here. And, yeah, definitely wouldn't be an STF. Would definitely be just a power move into the 1-2-3 there. And New Japan Strong Openweight Champion in John Cena. How about that? Massive. I'm surprised it was a 78, to be honest. I mean, that was all Nakamura's doing. For sure. Yeah, that would have also made a lot more sense to kind of at least get a break in between seeing Juice. So, I mean, it sucks that the Steal the Show matchup didn't work out. Luckily, it's a tour show. It's not the end of the world. Yeah, we're halfway done, though, with the tour already. Just got days 4 and 5 left, and obviously the finals. Yeah, and we're just going to keep on moving. We'll probably go Mid-South. Or maybe, we'll probably go Great Lakes. And then, potentially Mid-South. And then, Mid-Atlantic. That'll probably be what we'll do. So, yeah, on to the next tour show. Alrighty, day 4. We have no backstage incidents, so we can get right into it. As I am going to pick the venue first. See what we got rocking in the Great Lakes here. As this Covelli Center in Youngstown, Ohio. Maybe there's something a little closer. So no, it's taking it was a couple days away, so there's time to travel for sure, but it would be nice to make it a little easier on them. That would be pretty fun to run a casino/resort. Yeah, I mean, we could either run that, as that's in Mount Pleasant in Michigan. Yeah, I guess we'll just run And the whole Young's down. Fuck it. Fuck it. Alright, so main event is going to be a tough one to call. Because that's probably going to be the better matchup than this tag match. But this makes more sense after what we just saw on day 3 of the tour. As Nakamura and Tanahashi teaming up to take on Cena and Juice Robinson, as Nakamura's going to beat Cena. Tanahashi is the road agent. Yeah, we'll have that be Danielson as Darius Martin, Elioto Del Airbender, and then Dante Martin and Francesco Kiro. So again, we're kind of doing the same thing we just saw on the previous tour, with but this time it's going to be the champions and Top Flight. We'll and also we're at Blast Off in the Velocities, which that's obviously Jason Lee, Fuminori Abe, as Paris de Silva gonna get the win there. So that's a massive win, first of all, for the Velocities over Blast Off. We had this match last month, actually, as Velocities getting the win on that strong taping, and they're gonna get the win here as well. We'll probably have that be the co-main, though, as far as Tyler Black and El Kukui against Zack Sabre Jr. and Drew Gulak. As El Kukui is going to beat Drew Gulak there, so nice win for the House of Black team. And we'll go Francesco Kiro and Dante Martin, as Francesco Kiro is going to get the win over Dante, which will mean, as far as Darius is going to beat Airbender, he does not. So it's a clean sweep over Top Flight there, as Airbender getting the win in 12 minutes. Then Evil and Black Taurus against Jarvis and Alexander. Of course, it's the Technical Masterclass matchup, as Black Taurus getting the win over Corey Jarvis. That should actually be a pretty solid opener compared to what we've seen recently. Yeah, I mean, we'll stick with this. That's fine by me. Actually, yeah, we'll switch this out. We'll separate the two singles matches. Now let's run it. See what we get here for day 4 of the tour, and it's the 67th day opener, as Black Taurus getting the win over Corey Jarvis with the Infernal Suplex. Pretty close, but the better team was United Empire. Bit of an upset. 65 for Darius Martin and Airbender as the 630. And 12-19, love it though. He's killing it right now. And as far as, it's awesome that we have Vikingo and he's doing well. It's a tag team specialist bonus for the Velocities, as it was an upset, but I like that they get the win here. Paris de Silva pinning Jason Lee as a 72. Drew London was a little bit off his game, so it might have been a little bit closer, but all around, you know, I would love to see when the Super Junior Tag League comes around, see what Blasov can do against the Velocities. Oh, this actually went pretty well. Yeah, Dante Martin, Francesco Kira, as a 65-66. Dante Martin did outperform him. Could have got the win there. But I want to say Dante beat him during the Best Super Juniors, is why we went with this. As Francesco Akira with the Akira Assault 1946. It was a decent little matchup, though. We'll take that. 82 for the co-main event. Tyler Black and El Kukui beating Drew Gulak and Zack Sabre Jr. Yeah, an upset for sure. Drew Gulak obviously, worked a lot in the U.S., so he's super over, and he does really well here. And then for El Kukui, though, getting a nice win with the Shooting Star Press, but, again, it's a bit of a silly gimmick still, El Kukui, as far as, I don't think that would be as over here in the States as it obviously would be in Mexico, and also, obviously, Japan. But, man, I mean, we do have somebody that was the incarnation of evil on this show, so it's not that big of a stretch. It's an 80 for the main event. That actually went better than I expected, as Tanahashi and Nakamura beating Juice and Cena. It's only a 4-point difference in the two teams. Nakamura with the cross-arm lock over Cena, getting a win back too there. And yeah, I think that's the right call on that one. That's actually a pretty good main and co-main there. Not a bad show at all. Alright, so the final tour show, we are going to have Hana Komura have a singles matchup, as far as I felt like, obviously we rarely get to see kind of the women on the tour, and we're making a couple of big-time moves to be able to have a lot more women at our disposal, so that's kind of been what we've been planning. So you're going to see her in a singles matchup. You're going to see, as far as, the last building up stage of some of the matches going into the Wrestle Dynasty show. But all around, man, I think we got a banger on our hands. I don't know if we're going to run the Mid-Atlantic area for that final show, since we haven't really ran there for the final show, or we're going to go up to New York again, or maybe even going down to the Mid-South area. Who knows? It kind of all really depends on how everything's shaping up to be. But I'm hoping we run Mid-Atlantic, honestly, for the final show, because we just haven't really ran there for a big-time show. So that's just kind of what I'm hoping for. Alrighty, the final tour show here is, we will be running, I think we're going to actually run the Tri-State area. I just feel like this is kind of the best case scenario here for, because I do think the final show is going to be in the Mid-Atlantic area. As, let's see what we get. Yeah, 3,000, yeah, Hulu Theater, that's inside the Garden. That works for me. Alrighty. Cool. Oh, we have backstage incident. Completely missed that. A couple of them. As Nagata passing on Psychology to the Great Okan, and then Nakamura passing on Psychology to Nariya Takagawa. As for this main event, probably, Tyler Black, Jon Moxley, Walter, Zack Sabre Jr. So Black leaves Moxley high and dry. I think it'd be a fun real matchup, because you'd see the Shield back again, teaming up, and to think that by this point, damn near it'd be almost a decade. Close, well, yeah, it'd be close to a decade since the last time they teamed up. Because I know they kind of did like the farewell tour, which was it's kind of crazy to think that they did that. When you look back at that, because rarely does that ever happen. But even then, I think it was mainly 6-man matches. It wasn't really like them teaming up. So, and also, Walter, Zack Sabre Jr. are the current IWGP Tag Team Champions. So again, that just kind of makes sense for them to also win that one. Task Force Death versus United Empire. Again, as far as this is a bit of a banger. As a Death Triangle of the Task Force Death, Pac with the Lucha Brothers against Drew Gulak, Gresham, and Makabe. Pac pinning Drew Gulak there in 20 minutes. I love that match. Yeah, Ibushi and Konosuke Takeshita against Claudio Castagnoli, Satoru Ashino. First of all, this tour show is insane, just from some of these lineups of these matches. As Ashino will be beating Kota Ibushi, too. That is a massive, massive victory on that one. As our first ever women's matchup on a tour show, Hana Kimura taking on Daria Baronito, as obviously, as far as with, as far as this is, that's somewhat of the hometown girl getting an opportunity there for sure. Take on Hana Kimura. She's going to come up short, but as far as, it's kind of funny, because I always thought, stylistically, she should have been a lot better than what she ever turned out to be, but that's just kind of another story for another time. Just, as far as I think, mainly now, just kind of not really doing a lot of active in-ring stuff. She doesn't need to, but, But Hana Kimura's going to get the win, though, nonetheless, because obviously the IWGP Women's Champion is going to get the win there. Then, it really depends. I don't know what's going to be the steal of the show, what's going to be the technical masterclass. I'm assuming this is the steal of the show. Yeah, Tetsuya Endo in Hook, as Endo will be beating Hook. That is a massive win. And then Garcia and O'Reilly taking on Fujinami and Ren Narita, as Garcia is going to beat Ren Narita in 20 minutes, as that's the technical masterclass matchup. That's actually going to be a pretty good matchup, too. I'm excited to see how that plays out, because this should be a pretty good tour show. We got some bangers on this card. Hopefully nobody gets hurt, though, in those kind of top matches. Yeah, the opener, 68. Cattle mutilation from Daniel Garcia there, getting the win. As, Garcia had a really, really good showing with a 61. O'Reilly with a 72. Not bad at all. Yeah, Ren Narita, though, just falls way short than what we needed him to do, as Endo really shits the bed here with a 53, as Hook loses to a Phoenix Splash in 13 minutes. That's brutal. Absolutely brutal to see there. 68 For the women's matchup, Hana Kimura with the big boot in 2012. It's pretty funny that that's a finish, but yeah, Hana Kimura, 68. No, not a bad rating at all for her. As far as that matchup, really her herself, she could say 63. Sashino and Claudio beating Konosuke Takeshita and Kota Ibushi. First of all, this match, we need to see this again. This matchup in Japan would be incredible. A hell of a tag match here. Sashino with the ankle lock, getting the win over Kota Ibushi. Yeah, I mean, this was a hell of a match. Hell of a match. Slight upset. Just a couple points difference, though, between the two teams. It's a 92 for the Death Triangle United Empire with Gulak and Gresham and Makabe. This six-man matchup that's just a banger and a half. Funny that Gresham and Gulak were so far below everybody else. I guess Pentagon Jr. was 78, though, too. In that same breath, but yeah, Pac, Phoenix, Makabe, killing it there. It's Pac with the shooting star leg drop over Gulak. Just a hell of a match. And the main event's a 91. And so the Golden Bomb from Walter onto Moxley. As far as the 2 men, as far as that are in the title matchup, are involved in the finish. After Tyler Black leaves Moxley high and dry on a 2-on-1. Oh, we can also, accidental, and it turns into, shoving match. Jeff Tyler Black, super kicks him, leaves him laying. Falter comes in, Golden Bomb for good measure. Just really laying it on Moxley. Bit of an overkill finish, but, I mean, it's solid little matchup, though. That's a hell of a main and co-main for a tour show. Yeah, they delivered a big way. Yeah, they said the fans all happy with that one. That's a hell of a show. Not a bad tour at all. That's, it's nice to change it up a little bit and run. Basically, we damn near ran most of, we started in the Southwest, worked our way up and across the continental U.S., all the way through, as far as, we didn't obviously run the Mid-South or Southeast, but just the way we ran through America, it just made sense, as far as from that perspective. So yeah, on to the final show now. We get to see some major matchups on that final show. U.S. title on the line, the main event, which should be just an absolute banger between those two men, and Zack Sabre Jr. and Tyler Black. Look, Moxley's looking to get some revenge after just, getting, defeated by Falter, but mainly because of Tyler Black. It would be interesting to see him kind of cost Tyler Black, his big matchup. After, maybe that's going to happen, maybe not. We shall see. And yeah, on to the final show we go. Alrighty, the Wrestle Dynasty show is here. As we don't have any backstage incidents or anything like that. Oh, good to go. Yeah, so we ran Chase Field, MetLife. Yeah, we have never ran the Mid-Atlantic area. We just, for the first time, ran the Southwest area last time. But yes, we do Japan World, of course, for this one. As, I'm trying to think where they had us at exactly. The Carter Finley Stadium. So yeah, that's where the old Wolfpack play. That's fine by me. 56,000. That's, damn near what, yeah, that'll work. That will work. I was thinking we were going to play at the Panther Stadium. I'm trying to remember what that field is called. Cause yeah, but that it's no big deal. Well, actually, yeah, that'd kind of be more the southeast, probably. But no, I'm right in Mid-Atlantic. Duh. I don't know why I was thinking it might potentially be more of that. But yeah, it looks like that's the biggest stadium, anyways. So that's fine. The old KFC Yum Center. Yeah, the M&T Bank Stadium. Yeah, the Maryland Stadium. Yeah, I don't think so. That's fine. That's no big deal. Well run, the old the Greensboro Coliseum, of course. Very, very historic. Yeah, Clemson's. And that will do. That will do. Oh, the old Bojangles Coliseum. We have it twice. That's alright. Yeah, alright. So, for the main event, Tyler Black, Zack Sabre Jr. As it will be Tyler Black getting the win and beating Zack Sabre Jr. I think this is the right call here. Get the belt off of Zack. Obviously he just became the U.S. champion fairly recently. It was probably a couple months, right? Oh yeah, May. So yeah, it's been a while, but he's only had the one defense, obviously, because after he won it, as far as he had the one defense and then the G1 happened. But yeah, I think it's the right call. Get the belt back on Tyler Black and potentially have Moxley and him have a match in Australia potentially. There's a lot of different ways of going about it, for sure. But I like it though. I like it, and I think that's the right decision to have him end out the show as champion. Co-main event: Moxley Walter. Walter beats Moxley. This was a tough call because it was either he becomes the most as far as successful defenses with this one because he tied Hiromu, and now he breaks that record. And I think he's had a hell of a run, and I just don't think we need to get the belt off him. He's been fantastic for us. And, now he's going to be champion for well over a year, obviously, with that successful defense. Unreal. Just unreal, as far as his run. He's been fantastic. I think he's going to outperform Moxley, too. It's going to be close, though. It's going to be very, very close. Juice and Nakamura for the Never Openweight title. As Nakamura's going to retain. This was a close call, though, because Juice has never won the Never Openweight title. He's been the U.S. champ. Don't think we've given him an Intercontinental title reign. Yeah, he hasn't been the Intercontinental champion either. But I think this was a good call. It cost Nakamura the New Japan Strong Openweight title, but in the end, Nakamura retains the Never Openweight title. It just kind of makes sense from that perspective. Tanahashi and Cena for the New Japan Strong Openweight title, and Tanahashi does in fact beat John Cena. It just seems like this was the right call. Tanahashi's the better of the two, and having beat Cena in America not once but twice too is a pretty interesting story to that. But yeah, Cena, with that, that's kind of his last. Yeah, that'll be his last match for us. It just, as far as we used him as much as we could. We used him, I think, to the best of our abilities, and now that he's just not at that level, it's time to ship him off to either AEW or even Mexico. Just one of the two. Really just depends. Suzuki-gun versus Blastoff, though, for the Never Openweight 6-man tag team titles. As I didn't pick a winner, wanted to wait and just kind of have a feeling out process, and I do think there should be a title change here. As we're going to have Hook beat Endo to get his rematch kind of win and avenge that loss. And also, I think the Suzuki-gun team should be, Never Openweight 6-man champions. So Claudio, as far as his reigns so far in New Japan, he's been the U.S. champion, and that's it. So to add another belt to that accolade, I think makes a lot of sense. And for Hook, I believe that's his first title. Because, I don't think he was a junior champion or anything yet, so that's his first belt, too. So, big things happening for Hook. And then the Open Challenge, it is, in fact, Ashley Flair, and it just seems like that would be a very fitting challenger. As far as for Flair, obviously, you're in Flair country. I was going to have Rick accompany her to the ring, but, sadly, he passed away in the mod, so now you add a little bit more emotion to that too, as far as that's going to be pretty big. And Ashley is going to win. I think a lot of people are going to probably hate that. It kind of turns me a little bit the wrong way to have Hana Kimura lose like that to Ashley Flair, but at the same time, I know where we're going, so I'm cool with it for now. Hana Kimura had to lose eventually. She's had a hell of a run, though, as the IWGP Women's Champion, which Speaking of, I need to make sure I borrow that belt. Yeah, I mean, she's had 6 defenses already. Also, I forgot that Saletta was the actual first champion because CMLL crowned her the champion first. But yeah, I mean, for having the belt for only 84 days, having 6 defenses, though, is pretty massive. We even had her beat Chris Statlander. Oh, no, we didn't. That's right. It was a non-title matchup. That's what it was. I was going to have her defend the belt on that strong taping, but went against it, mainly because she just had a Ring of Honor matchup, too. So, yeah, I mean, then AEW's booked her a lot. Stardom's had her, Rev Pro, and she's defended that belt damn near everywhere. I think it's a good call here, though. To drop the belt here. Did I actually click on fucking borrow? Okay, no, I didn't. Oh, borrow title. Thank you. Perfect. Yeah, make sure the belt will be on the line. New champion there, and of course, fitting challenger. Mainly this is just Ashley with the entrance, big pyro, all that fun jazz. Then the opener again, or not the opener, the match before after the opener rather. Excuse me. As this again would have been a ladder matchup to really set this off, but just went with the one fall to a finish, and there will be new champions as Dante Martin's going to beat Francesco Akira. So again, Francesco Akira beat him during the as far as the build up to this and that singles matchup. So a little revenge there. All around, I love that match. I'm excited for that one to see how that plays out. Hopefully it's going to be a banger there. And we do, in fact, have New Japan Strong openweight champions, as for the Lucha Brothers are going to beat Gresham and Makabe, as Ray Phoenix is going to beat Jonathan Gresham. I like that a lot. As well, yeah, we have to change. So Robert King is roughing a little too much. So yeah, we'll have that be. Yeah, have that be red shoes actually. Perfect. So yeah, the post show stuff. I want to definitely have one with Ashley. Just feels like that makes sense. Dedicates it to Reed and Rick, and just how fortunate she, as far as because WWE let her go, and then she did work for AEW a little bit. She multiple time champion there, and she was just not doing anything. She was unemployed. So I was just like, let's snag her up. Why not, right? Just feels like that would make a lot of sense for her to be able to get a big win like that. It would be pretty huge. Pretty huge. Some of the plans, I thought Statlander would be a fun match with her and Kimura. We're definitely going to do Starlight Kid and Hannah Kimura, because I love those two. And it just felt like it wouldn't have worked out better in the U.S. to have Starlight Kid accept that challenge. So, but that's going to be a lot of fun to see. So yeah, as far as Flair, post-show press conference. Yeah, we'll have one with Tyler Black. And maybe takes a shot. Yeah, we'll have him take a shot at Mox. As not really overness, but minor defeat. Mainly as celebrating his win, and he, as far as Moxley doesn't have any gold, and as far as he knew, he was always the weak link. And his back was hurting from carrying him all those years, type of thing. Just really stirring the shit up. Oh yeah, we'll have I think we'll have Cena be. We'll go Cena, and then we'll go the Lucha Brothers. Maybe have him leave, kind of send his goodbyes to the Dark Order. So that could be pretty fun. Brody and Silver and Reynolds. Fucking Johnny Hungy starts kind of crying up and tearing up as he hugs him. It'd just be kind of a funny little thing. Yeah, I just feel like visually that makes a lot of sense. Black Taurus kind of no sells it, because he's a goddamn bull. Might just be fun. Yeah, we'll have. We'll go acting for Johnny Hungy. Yeah, it's just funny little segment there, mainly just there for the laughs. So I think we should have one more, or just end it there after the Lucha Brothers. Yeah, I think after the Lucha Brothers, it'd be fun. Because they never really have like a press conference or anything like that. But I'm hoping they're gonna have just an absolute banger, and it's gonna result in a great matchup for them. And so we might even have Moxley be involved too. Nah, let's just call it there. Yeah, we'll have that go after Cena. All right. So yeah, we're good to go. Let's run it. Yep, 91 for the opener. Hell of a start. As Ray Phoenix, Pentagon Jr. They actually got outperformed by Makabe and Gresham. That's kind of crazy to think about. But Ray Phoenix, yeah, with the after the Fear Factor, double foot stomp off the top, gets the win, pins Gresham, and we have New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions. So the reason why I got the belts off Gresham and Makabe, I forgot in Gresham's contract, he's actually not, working strong tapings. So when I put the belts on him, it kind of didn't make any sense because we couldn't do anything on strong. So mainly that's just why. But I wish that was a little bit better, but we'll take the 91 for now. A 79 for the next matchup as the new Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions in Top Flight. God, think about what those kids have been through, with Dante and Darius. They started off so young in the save, and now they're still just super fucking young, but they're the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. Oh, a fun match. Fun match there, and, Airbender was the best guy in the match, which rules. Dante was the second best guy, though, so that works out from that opinion. But yeah, it sucks that we didn't get a ladder match out of this, but it still would be a pretty high profile, fucking pedal to the metal type of matchup. As, Flair's debut, entrance, and win, and she gets the win to figure 4, too. I love that. Center of the ring. Love it. So yeah, 66 both girls there. 86 for the Never Openweight 6-man tag team title matchup is Hook pinning Endo. Love it. Bushi with a 91, 92 from Konosuke, Takeshita, 92 for Machino, Claudia with an 80, 72 for Hook, and then Endo with a 65. Yeah, worst guy from both teams involved in the finish. We'll take it. A 74 for Tanahashi and Cena. Could have been worse. Could have been a lot worse, but the high fly flow from John Cena, onto John Cena rather, from Tanahashi, and he's now the New Japan Strong Openweight Champion yet again. A lot of titles changing ends on this Wrestle Dynasty. That is for sure. Damn. I thought that'd be a lot better. Nakamura, though, with a triangle choke win, as that's his 5th defense of his Never Openweight title. He's been on a tear with this reign. He's been fantastic. It's an 85 from Moxley and Volter, as the Burning Lariat from Volter with his 8th defense. Unreal. What a run as the Intercontinental Champion. He's been fantastic. In our main event, it's an 88. Damn, I was hoping to be in the 90s, but Tyler Black beating Zack Sabre Jr. with the curb stomp, and he's the new United States Champion. Major victory there. The post-show press conferences, I forgot to take Moxley off screen, that's alright. Lucha Brothers press conference, and Cena's farewell to Dark Order. And, she did pretty well. She's the best press conference. Yeah, well, I was correct on my opening statement saying that that's going to be the best match on the card. So it was, a 91. Very solid. We got very lucky that show rating's a 95. Not sure exactly how that planned out, but we'll take it. Man, it's so weird that didn't get an 85. But, it's an 84, so it's not that big of a deal. Yeah, not the greatest of Wrestle Dynasties when you kind of look at some of the matches, as far as quality-wise, but somehow just had a great show overall. Honestly, I'm going to give Ashley Flair some love. I'm going to give her a hug. And then, we'll go Tyler Black and Volter. A lot of guys' shins getting put over for that show. Obviously, that was kind of there. Definitely showcase for sure. But yeah, I mean that was a fun Wrestle Dynasty. To as far as I think the build up to it did a lot better than maybe some of those. It's funny that some of those that last tour show, that main and co-main did just as well as some of the big time matches there on the final show. So just kind of weird from that perspective. But that's that was a hell of an episode to really unpack. As now we go across the fucking globe for this Autumn Attack tour. First week gonna be in Japan. We return home. Then we're going down to Australia. Then we'll fucking go after that tour across the globe again to England. So just a lot of miles are gonna be picked up for these guys. A lot of sky miles, that's for sure. But thank you all for watching this New Japan episode. And we'll catch you guys next time. Take care, everyone.